Okay, Howard. So welcome to hanging out with me, talking about life and adventures a bit. I'll introduce you just now, but I think you're a bit of a unique person to have this chat with, because normally I chat with guys that I coach around cycling, and you've got a whole different journey. So, and I do very, very, very little coaching in your world. But before we start, for the listeners, Howard is my brother-in-law, and we've known each other for 30 odd years. Howard, is it that long? Must be around about.
Oh no, 32 years.
32 years ago. That's a flipping long time. And Howard has always been quite an adventurous guy. And you can see from the more grey in his chin and my chin, he's a bit older than what I am. But Howard is someone that, since I've met Howard, never ever, a bit like me, we kind of, when someone tells us we can't, we get a bit nervous and our hair stand on end and we go out there to prove the world wrong. And Howard has done it in a much, much bigger way than I've ever done that. So Howard, maybe just a short intro in terms of, where you live and what you do currently for a living. We'll talk about adventures just now.
Okay. I'm 55 years old. I live in Somerset West. Married to your beautiful sister, Elmarie. We're in a business together, Warrington Brokers, short-term insurance brokers. 2 daughters, aged 28 and 26. And just loving life and enjoying our journeys together with Elmarie. So, in a nutshell, yes.
So, Alvin, when I met you, you were kind of a surfer, and then windsurfing, and later in life, you started running marathons. I remember going to visit you in the hospital at Pietermaritzburg after unsuccessful conference one year, and did some Ironmans. Yeah. You did some Ironmans, and then you started taking up ocean swimming. When did that happen?
Oh, that was interesting, Johan. From the surfing, I've always enjoyed being out there, and I've often wondered what it would be like just to slip off the board and just to swim out into the ocean. But you just enjoy yourself as you're going along. The marathon was fun. The triathlons was fun, but the swimming aspect of it was very. It was more of a lonely sport. So I was quite intrigued by the fact that when you're swimming, it's head down. You're swimming within yourself, and it was a deep down focus, almost like a spiritual feeling and an emotion that you go through, because you just within yourself. So from all the triathlon training in dams and seas, one day I just decided, let's try this open water thing and let's go for the freedom swim, and that's swimming from Robben Island to Blouberg. That was my first attempt and experience on open water swimming without a wetsuit, purely just out there.
So when was the first time you did that? When did you do the first time?
Goodness, that was in 2000 and 2015.
Did you train a lot before the time, or
prior to that, no. It was mainly just Ironman training. So maximum 4-kilometer swims in dams and seas. Pretty much that's it. To wander out into the ocean to do longer than that was just a dream. So it was great.
Howard, most guys in South Africa, if they think about Robben Island, they just imagine the icy water of the Atlantic Ocean. You do this with a Speedo on. I know you've always dreamed of wearing a Speedo in public, and now you're doing that. But how do you prepare your body when the water is freezing?
Well, Johan, I learned a valuable lesson that day. I did my first Robben Island swim. Because I thought, you want to be hardcore, you ditch the wetsuit and you swim with skins, because that's Robben Island. So I went out without much mental preparation and respect for the cold water. So I jumped in and ended up in Blouberg for an hour and a half in the medic tent with hypothermia. So I learned a valuable lesson from that day that cold water is not something you play with. So yeah, it was just, I was intrigued, I was interested, I was curious, bumped my head very hard. So
and how do you prepare
yeah,
now? I
was
mean,
well, you know, after that happened, I lay in that medic tent, and I was reprimanded by the officials because I didn't do it properly. I was supposed to do a relay because the water was about 12 degrees, and they said all newbies must do a relay. And when I hit that water, I just felt like I'm not getting on the boat. So the guys joined me, and we did it. Johanna went a year later. I decided to do a bit more preparation, had some cold showers and winter swims, shorter swims and longer swims, and went out the second time, and it was a bit more comfortable. And that's where it bit me, and I just enjoyed that freedom, that swimming from Robben Island. Yeah, so it was a toughie, but it was something you want to go back. It's addictive.
Are you saying that the more cold water you swim in, the more adapted your body becomes to that?
Very much so, very, very much so. And even though in preparation you normally have cold showers and prepare in the cold, you get to a stage where you don't need to do that. You can live like a normal guy and have normal showers and a warm bath, and you can go jump off the boat in your scooter and swim.
Yeah, gee, that's hectic. And so since 2015, how many of these crossings have you done now? Or do you still count?
Well, I do count. We tend to count these things. I've done my 35th crossing last Friday, as a matter of fact, and this Friday I'm doing my 36th. So I'm very, very fired up to swim again, because I swim with new guys, and I swim with older guys that have done it before, and we just love to jump in and swim together.
Oh, I mean, I think I saw something that you kind of, one of the guys has done this crossing, I think in the top 10% of people that's ever done this now. I mean, how many, who's done the most?
Well, we've got a guy, Ron Stramrod, that's done it. He's 110th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, we're not chasing that. I'm very happy to do 50, or we see what happens. I'm still young. But yeah, I don't know where I fall in, what category I fall into. I know there was a brochure out a while ago, and I was in the top 10 for the most Robben Islands. So even though we chase numbers, we just take it within our stride, and as long as we're enjoying it, and that's what it's about, having a lot of fun.
And Elmarie, how many has she done with you? Because I know she goes on either kayak or rubber duck with you sometimes.
Yeah, Elmarie's been with me on almost every swim. The only time she wouldn't join is if we had very bad conditions. I've done, she's been on me with my big Robben Islands, as in I've done 2 double Robben Island crossings, and I've done a 3-way also. And Elmarie's been with me on every one of those. And that
so
was
3-way
good
means you go 3-way, you go three times without stopping.
3 times without stopping, yes.
And how many kilometers is that?
You just stop for, that's about 24, 25 kilometers.
Yes, that's insane.
On a relatively straight line.
Yeah, and the sharks and stuff, how?
No, there are no sharks here, man. That's a myth. We don't have sharks here. I'm petrified of sharks. Petrified of sharks. As I am petrified of being taken out on my bicycle. So I'm as petrified as most motorists as I am of sharks.
Yeah,
but it doesn't stop us. I mean,
when I remember when going back to my surfing days, people ask me, "What about sharks?" I always said to them, "The shark is controlled by God, but a taxi driver is maybe not." So I'm much more nervous with a taxi driver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, I mean, I've seen some videos that Elmarie's taken when you guys cross, where you've had some absolute exquisite conditions, and then some dolphins join you guys. I mean, that must be like absolutely amazing. I mean, just the videos, I'm sure it doesn't do justice to the experience.
Johan, that is one of the main reasons why we do this, is because every time you jump in, it's a different experience, from the cold to the ambient temperature, sea temperature. But the absolute gift is when you have seals, dolphins, whales. I've come face to face with a whale. I've swam into a sunfish. We've just had the most amazing experiences. You get to a stage where when you get this pot of dolphins and they spot the swimmer, and they all just turn around and they play with you. It's amazing. It's something you cannot describe. If you're in the wild, it's not an aquarium, and these things just, you're on there, and it's just beautiful. It's absolutely stunning.
No, I can absolutely. I mean, I can relate to that, and I mean that kind of speaks to me as well. I mean, I swim like a rock, so I'm definitely not going to join you.
So do I.
Oh, so I mean, and then you got this view in your bonnet to swim across the English Channel. I mean, that was quite something, eh?
Yes, that was a dream for Elmarie and I, because we spoke about it and for the last 4 or 5 years and thought, wow, how amazing would that be? But 4 or 5 years ago, I wasn't an open water swimmer. It was just something that you think would be great. It's like you're doing a park run and you dream of running comrades. That's how I felt. So after I did my first Robben Island and ended up in the tent, and my second and the third one, pretty much after my third Robben Island, I said to Elmarie, look, it takes about 3 years to get a slot for the English Channel, and you need at least a minimum 3 years experience. So I applied, and no luck at all. So after my third Robben Island crossing, I just got a call from someone who said, Howard, look, you want to do this thing? We do have a spot available. It's not a good spot. It's the first week of the English Channel season. So I said, sure, how long? Is that going to be? Give me 2 years, 3 years? So I said, no, it's in 9 months. So I looked at Elmarie and I said, wow, careful what you wish for. And Elmarie said, let's do this. So we took about an hour to think about it, and we made our decision. We're going to do it. So we literally had 3 Robben Island experiences and 9 months to train, and dream come true. It was beautiful. It was amazing. So it was very exciting.
What makes it different to Robben Island, except down for the distance? I mean, maybe start by how long the swim is, and then the challenges. Because I saw your GPS file, and that was like, I mean, it looked like you swam nearly double as far as what the actual distance is as the crow flies.
Yes, absolutely. As a crow flies is about 36, 37 kilometers, English Channel. So on the day, I ended up doing 55 kilometers. It's all about the tide. You have a good day, it's wonderful. But my tide was more of a spring tide, because it was late and the wind was blowing, and I had a choice of swimming, or they were going to send me home. So you start at Dover, and the tide just pushes you and towards the ferry lane. So you really have to swim hard. You get a bit of tide assistance too, that helps, but you don't realize that you're just swimming. So what planned to be about 12 and a half, 13 hours ended up taking me 16 hours and 13 minutes.
Yeah. But I saw that last couple of Ks, that looked like that took forever, because the tide really pulled you along, eh?
Yeah. As you get to France, the tide turned again. So if you had seen my swim route, you'll notice that the tide was pushing and pulling. When I got to France, the tide started pushing back to England again. So my last mile took me 4 hours of swimming. So you're really pushing hard. And you have to be so careful that you don't end up back in the ferry lane because they pull you out. So my training was focused on the last couple of hours. So you just make sure that you're not flat out all the way, and that you have the ability and the energy to push as hard as you can for the last couple of hours. And fortunately, I was lucky. I had that in me.
So how do you? I mean, I'm sure you need to take nutrients in while you swim for that long. I mean, how do you hang on the boat, or what? What's the rules in terms of how do you take fueling?
Oh no, the rule is that you never touch the boat. Bottom line. So every 30 minutes, even when you're doing your Robben Island swims, you don't touch the boat. So the boat drops you off at the beach. You've got a couple of meters to swim there. When you start, you will have a feed every 30 minutes, where they pretty much stop you. You have 20 seconds, lie on your back, a bottle on a rope is thrown at you. You gulp it down as quick as you can, because the tide's shifting all the time and pulling you. And 20 seconds and you're off. So you do that non-stop from England to France.
And what's in a bottle?
And you drink it. Well, it depends. Whatever you're used to, a bit of energy drink, not caffeine. Caffeine's not very good for the cold water.
Yeah.
So a bit of an energy drink, you just try and go for the lower carb, so the sugar doesn't turn your stomach upside down. you keep that for the last couple of hours. So pretty much what you would train for when you go mountain biking or running, not many solids. It's a bit difficult getting solids in your mouth with cold water. The jaw tends to freeze up a bit, and the food tends to it doesn't melt in your mouth as it normally does.
Yeah, but I thought you'd take a smoothie or something with some protein or...
Yes. Even a smoothie. Well, what we would do is we would take, after about 3 hours, we take a protein type mix. So just to make sure that you've got your strength and energy and you're replenishing every aspect of your nutritional needs. So you make sure that you got that right. And you got an observer watching you. So he's making sure that you're not being fed with illegal things and substances or anything else.
Yeah, they put a little propeller on your back. Yeah. Oh, so what's the next challenge? Yeah.
Well, on a swimming point of view, I've got the Strait of Gibraltar coming up in June next year, and that slot is secured and registered.
How far is that?
So that's a shorter one. It's a hard swim. We're looking at about 15 kilometers, also as a crow flies. So we don't know what our distance will be on the day. But yeah, that's Morocco to. That's from Spain to Morocco. So that's going to be a busy shipping lane also. And there you want more speed. So you focus on strength and speed so you can start off and get through the shipping lane as quick as possible.
But there must be some hectic currents down that, coming in and out of the Mediterranean Sea.
Very much, very much. As English Channel has currents and assisting currents, that is pretty much a harsh current that comes through there. Yeah, sideways. So you really have to swim very hard so you don't lose too much distance. So Gibraltar is that, and then I'm looking at a False Bay crossing.
False Bay crossing?
Either before or False Bay crossing, yes.
Has that been done before?
Royal, yes, yeah, the guys have done that. They've just set up a association here in Cape Town.
But I mean, I grew up in South West. That must be 50 odd Ks. I mean, it's a heck of a long way.
Yes, that's the same distance as the English Channel. So that's exciting.
I didn't come and visit you and tell you. We have to chat about this over some red wine. You're totally nuts.
Absolutely. No, I'm looking forward to that. That's exciting.
And I know you've been running some marathons as well. Are you guys got some marathons planned as well?
Yes. Every year I run a marathon with Elmery. We pick a marathon in Europe and we put some swimming in there too. But we go and run amazing marathons. So next year we've got the Edinburgh Marathon coming up in May. So we look forward to that. But we don't worry about time. We just go for enjoyment. But then we also have 2 Oceans and, the normal marathons. We throw in an ultra once a year also. So it'll be Oceans and then a couple of local marathons too.
And then you've got, and then you've got some cycling coming up as well. I mean, people are going to ask you, when are you working? Or is Elmery working and you playing?
No, she's working. She's always working. She's got to work hard to join me. She's got to earn a plane. Jan, we've got the Wines to Wales coming up, as you know. So we're always excited about that because that's a lot of fun. And then, a couple of others, Karoo Burn again. I'm looking forward to that. And then Joburg to Sea next year also. As you know, that was supposed to happen this year and for obvious reasons didn't. So we look forward to Joburg to Sea next year. That's going to be very exciting. A lot of fun also.
Yes, you've got Joburg to Sea in May. You've got Joburg to Sea in May. Next year, you've got Edinburgh Marathon in May. And you're swimming the road to Strait of Gibraltar in June, July. I mean, you're going to have a very busy year next year.
That's right. It's busy. We like to keep busy, yeah.
Well, Howard, it was really cool catching up with you. I mean, it's awesome, and I see these Facebook photos of where you're swimming the Robben Island with some new guys, and they're in wetsuits, and you are in your world famous Speedo. So good job doing those things. Howard, if someone want to get hold of you to how do they do that? Have you got a Facebook page?
I've just my normal Facebook page, Howard Warrington.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime. Anyone wants advice or wants to join me on a swim, please feel free. Give me a shout.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, yeah, too, Howard, thanks very much for hanging out with us. And
okay.
We'll catch up with you soon.
Cool.
Cheers, eh?
Lovely. Thanks, Johannes. Appreciate it, man. Okay.